In this video, I am going to share my process and agents I am using for edge finishing. Hello everyone, my name is Thomas and welcome to my channel about leather crafting. If you are interested in that, please consider subscribing to my channel. For a while I'm getting asked to make a video about edge finishing. So in this video I'm going to share my process and agents I'm using for edge finishing. If you will find some useful information for you, don't forget to press the like button. It really helps to spread my video across YouTube and it costs you nothing. Also, don't forget to check my other videos for more leather crafting tips. Just before jumping into the process, I want to mention some moments regarding edge finishing in general. Nice glossy edges you probably want to achieve in your crafts are possible only with quality vegetable tanned leather. With leather such as chrome tanned, edge finishing doesn't work at all. If you are following me for a while, you probably know I'm using three types of leather for my products: vegetable tanned Buttero, Pueblo and Horween Shell Cordova. You can check my videos I made about leather here. All these three types of leather I consider as a very high quality leather. But as leather before was a live organic substance, its properties slightly vary even in the same article of leather. Some hides would be slightly softer, some would be slightly denser, and these properties also affect edge finishing. Even the same article leather but different color has slightly different feeling, and it also makes some impact on edge finishing. I believe it's because different dyeing agents are used in process. So don't expect to make an absolutely perfect mirror looking edge on every craft. And if you made a perfect edge, don't expect it to look the same for a while, as the crafts you made will be used and definitely will be affected. Unless you are making your crafts for showcase under the glass. And lastly, I want to mention, I just share in my videos how I make things. I do not consider myself as a super expert in edge finishing. I do not say I am doing it perfect. I just show what I find works for me over a few years in leather crafting. If you have a better way, you are welcome to make it as you want. If you have any good tips, leave them in the comment section. It may help for me and other viewers to improve edge finish. As I mentioned before, I am using three types of leather for my crafts, and overall the process is the same, with just some minor differences for Pueblo leather, as it's a bit softer compared to shell or butter. Just before starting actual edge finishing, I want to mention a couple moments where I suggest to pay attention. First of all, when you are cutting pieces for crafts, try to cut it the way that then the pieces will be glued to be the same leather fibers direction. I find out it slightly helps when you are sanding edge after with a sanding paper. And second moment, when you are gluing your leather parts, press it with a high pressure. For that purpose, I'm using these tongs. Review of all my tools I'm using you could check in separate video I made before. With that being said, let's jump into the actual edge finishing process. Just after glue dries, I'm trimming protruding glue and roughly flattening the edge with a rotary dremel tool with 320 grit sanding drum on it. When I think it's good, I replace the sanding drum to one which is roughly used, and I would say now equivalent to something like 1000 grit sanding paper. After that, I'm marking stitching lines with a divider, making a groove for stitching, beveling the edges, making stitching holes, stitching the card holder, and after all that, I coming back to final edge finishing. Starting with some water with saddle soap and wooden slicker. Why I use saddle soap? It makes the edge more slippery than just the water. After that, I'm sanding the edge with 1000 grit sanding paper. Then adding some Tokonol and rubbing it with canvas slowly. If you rub Tokonol firmly and fast, it will look not glossy. I believe it's because of temperature rising during friction. And I'm repeating this process with more fine sanding paper a few times, till I'm happy with how the edge looks. Usually I use 1000, 1200 and 1500 sanding paper during a process. Regarding sanding, usually the best way to sand is one direction. Just watch how the edge reacts, if it's roughening or not, if so just change the direction. And finally, rubbing canvas into Columbus wax and applying on the edge. It gives more shine for edge. And some aspects regarding Pueblo leather. As it is softer leather comparing to butter and shell, sometimes it's hard to sand. Then I'm applying some of this agent, which is water-based leather stiffener. After it dries, it's easier to sand the edges. If you follow me on YouTube for a while, you probably might ask about beeswax I used before. Yes, I did. In final stage of edge finishing, I applied beeswax. Then with a dremel tool and wooden burnisher on it, I melted the wax and then rubbed it with the canvas just to leave very thin layer of beeswax. Now, instead of that, I'm just rubbing Columbus wax with canvas. I would say the result is the same, just the process is much faster and easier. And couple things I want to mention also. When I started leather crafting, I tried to use this kind of edge cover agents. After it dries, it's like covers edge with a thin peel. But after the craft is being used, this coating starts to peel off and looks very ugly, so I don't use it anymore. And also I got asked why I apply Tokonol on flesh side of leather. I just rub some Tokonol with fingers to flatten leather fibers near the edge. That's it guys, if you have any questions please let me know in the comment section. Ideas for topics you would like to see on my channels are also very welcome. As always, all my crafts and PDF templates you can find in my web shop handmade.com. Any type of your support would be appreciated. Don't forget to press the like button. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye! Tai va tiek.